the week of event, Geography Awareness Week before you. And Father, as we use technology to make better decisions, Lord, we're asking that you will take full control of today's proceeding. We bless and we ask your mercy on everything. This we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Mr. Campbell. All right, so once again, good day and a warm welcome, everyone, to the 8th GIS Technical Seminar. The National Spatial Data Management Branch, the LICJ, that's the Land Information Council of Jamaica, thanks you very much for your attendance. I am Carrie-Ann Mahabir of Spatial Innovation Limited, Geospatial Technologies Solutions and Services provided to the Caribbean, and I will be your moderator for this technically charged event. A warm welcome and thanks as well to our speakers today. In order of appearance, they are Mr. Tarek King, presenting on the projects and technical services of the NSDMB, that's the National Spatial Management Branch, Data Management Branch. We then have Mr. Germain Ramiki, who will tell us about damage assessment at the National Works Agency. And then we will close with Ms. Trisha Ray Rodriguez. She will be telling us about cemetery site suitability mapping. Fascinating stuff, right? Before we get into the meat of the matter, you must know about Geography Awareness Week and GIS Day, and all of the activities that are planned for this year, starting off with this technical session that we're having now. So this forms a part of the activities. The next event will be the Thanksgiving church service. This event marks the formal commencement of the week of celebrations with formal messages from the minister with portfolio responsibility for GIS, and also involves fellowship with the LICJ NSDMB family and friends. This year, the service will be held at the Fellowship Tabernacle, and that will be this Sunday, November 15th. The start time is 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. What follows this is next Wednesday. That is Wednesday, November 18th. We will be hosting persons virtually this year, and this is what most persons would consider to be the event. This is GIS Day. This year marks the 18th National GIS Day Exposition. We have a very rich history of celebrating GIS. This event is a series of activities such as GeoTalks for a panel discussion, and it will be celebrated by organizations from across Jamaica. They will exhibit a wide array of GIS technologies and products through the hosting of their own internal GIS Day activities. There will be competitions to engage secondary and tertiary students, their teachers, along with GIS professionals as well. Competitions such as the map competition, GISB, treasure hunt, poster competition, essay competition, and the jingle competition. So if you've attended a GIS Day event before, a lot of these will sound familiar. So we're continuing that even though virtually. The aim of the celebration and activities of GIS Day is to seek to strengthen the knowledge of GIS and its related technologies. Our GIS Day is celebrated in concert with the international community as well. So it's International GIS Day. And this year, as mentioned, it will be hosted virtually via Microsoft Teams. That's next Wednesday, November 18th. This commences at 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. So ensure that you're present for all of the activities. Now that we're all caught up on the events of the coming week and what to expect of this session as well, I'll say welcome once again. Please ensure your attendance to these events. It's always welcome and always appreciated as we spread the GIS love. And just before we get into the technical sessions, Mr. Raymond Poyser, Spatial Plan Coordinator of the LICJ NSDMB, will now make his opening remarks to you. Mr. Porza, over to you. You may still be on mute, Mr. Porza.
Thank you very much, Miss Mabir. Greetings. I greet all agents of change, or presenters, GIS professionals, and others joining us today. Today marks the beginning of Geography Awareness Week with a technical seminar of GIS professionals who will present on various applications of GIS and how such technologies are shaping our future. The 8th Technical Seminar provides an opportunity for researchers from universities and GIS professionals within Jamaica to showcase the methodology and outcome of their GIS-driven projects. It promises to be a wonderful and informative event where our telencephalons will be engaged, our mental faculties stimulated, and our minds challenged to continue charting a course where geography and geospatial technologies are accepted, appreciated, and applied. Geography Awareness Week, as our wonderful moderator outlined, is from November 12th to the 18th. This year's theme, Geospatial Technologies Shaping Our Future, is a continuum which could be used each year due to the transformative power and magnitude of geography and geospatial technologies. The reality is that geospatial technologies are absolutely shaping our future. The theme is quite fitting and relevant given our current realities as a country and global community. In meteorology and disaster management, one does not have to look far past the weather systems that have developed over the past weeks and months to see how geospatial technologies are shaping our future. We are able to collect data efficiently and use same in a more meaningful and productive way to communicate national action and change among the public. Within the socio-political space, we are seeing where dashboards are created to display election results and voting patterns in real time. Just look at the recent US elections, for example. Had we seen it in the 1980s or 90s, it would have been in some cartoons such as the Jetsons or Silverhawks. Now it is our reality that GIS professionals are helping to shape. In health, we can map and display COVID-19 cases using geospatial technologies so that more informed decisions can be made by health officials and policymakers. Mapping can be done on a mobile phone with data uploaded in real time and dashboards populated to display changes in specific locations, age groups, and gender. We are witnessing these rapid developments, and sometimes as professionals, we too are amazed at the capabilities of simple tools at our fingertips. But guess what? It is the way the world is and continues to be shaped. The English comedian and actor Michael Palin looked at the world and summed it up like this, and I quote, "Geography is a subject that holds the key to our future," unquote. Unfortunately though, in some cases, geography is not celebrated as some subjects, for example, the sciences, business, or information technology, but it should, because it touches every aspect of our lives. Geography is an inescapable and undeniable part of our lives. We live on a planet that is experiencing great changes in the form of diseases, climate, and other major activities. We cannot live without engaging an element of geography. It is for this reason the National Spatial Data Management Branch and Land Information Council of Jamaica continue to promote geography and geospatial technologies among our student population, professionals, and the wider public. It is for this reason also why we can host the Geography Awareness Week for the 14th year and GIS Day for the 18th time. Therefore, I want to express sincere appreciation and commendation to Ms. Simone Lloyd, the Senior GIS Manager and Trainer and their team for the great work done over the years and continues to be done through the GIS in Schools Education Program, GISSEP, at the National Spatial Data Management Branch in the Ministry of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change. Part of the mandate of the branch is to ensure that the government and the public are aware of GIS and how it is being utilized in society, as well as how GIS technologies can lead to economic growth and sustainable development. The activities throughout the week are planned to create awareness around geography and form part of the work being done by the NSDMB and the Land Information Council of Jamaica. The moderator would have pointed out also that this week we'll have a series of activities, though they'll be held virtually. We will celebrate with organizations from across the island that will exhibit the wide array of GIS technologies and products through the hosting of their internal GIS Day activities. We will also have competitions to engage students of secondary and tertiary institutions, as well as teachers and other GIS professionals. The aim of this is to increase knowledge of GIS and related technologies while facilitating critical and innovative thinking among the national GIS community. Of course, GIS Day is celebrated in concert with the international community. Over the years, Geography Awareness Week has had a tremendous impact on our students as well as professionals because of the level of engagement, the information that is shared and exchanged, as well as new applications we are exposed to. There has been great participation, and the use of GIS data has increased across multiple fields. We have also seen it in terms of the increasing number of students who turn out for GIS Day. This makes us excited and committed to doing even more each year. However, it would be remiss of me not to point out clearly here that Geography Awareness Week is not only about exhibiting new technologies and products or sharing information in our technical seminar as we will do today. It is, however, about preparing and developing the minds of the next cadre of change agents, those who will go and change the world. That is what we're about, and we want to see continue. Finally, as we search for solutions to the multiplicity of national and global problems we are faced with, we must look within the ambits of geography for many of those solutions. Solutions that will transport us away from the dark and uncertain times that now characterize our world into a period of growth and resilience. Without understanding the way the world interacts, we cannot move forward. And Geography Awareness Week is about promoting this understanding, as well as the myriad of technologies which have shaped and continue to shape our lives and our future. Enjoy the rest of the proceedings and have a fantastic week. Thank you.
And thank you very much, Mr. Poisat, for that very warm and informative opening remark. So I like that expression, fantastic week. I like that quite a bit. So without further delay, we will get right into the technical sessions for today. We will start with Mr. Tariq King. Mr. King is a youthful, pragmatic, and innovative individual with experience in geographic information systems, data collection and data analytics, spatial planning and research methodologies, and project writing. He brings a flexible and dynamic energy to any team while remaining incredibly capable to execute individual tasks. He also brings a keen understanding of geospatial technologies, ArcGIS suite of software as well as QGIS, and a familiarity with the development, maintenance, and manipulation of geodatabases combined with practical research development. Analysis as well to ensure the highest quality results. So Mr. King will now present to us projects and technical services of the NSDMB. Over to you, Mr. King. One thing, or two things actually, one of which we were not hearing you just now. And the second is to let you know before you begin that each presenter has 20 minutes to present. And then there will be 5 minutes of question and answer. So as soon as you begin, your 20 minutes will start, and I'll let you know when you have 5 minutes left. Go ahead, please. No, we're still not hearing you yet. Yep. No go.
Better?
Aha, now you're on. All right.
Okay.
Ready to go?
Yes, I'm ready and raring to go.
All right, your 20 minutes starts now.
Okay, so won't be needed this. My name is Tariq King. I am the Senior Spatial Data Analyst at the National Spatial Data Management Branch. So I actually am a part of the Projects and Technical Services Unit, a part of the Project and Technical Services of the Project and Technical Service Unit of the National Spatial Data Management Branch. Right, so I'm here today to actually help you take a quick look into the services offered by the National Spatial Data Management Branch. Now, I may not necessarily use up the entire time. This may be a rather short presentation, but it will be very informative. I guarantee you that. So, for those who don't know, because I'm pretty sure the environment or our audience right now is actually quite familiar with the NSDMB. You've been coming to GAW for 18 years. You know, this is the 18th consecutive GAW. So a lot of people are associating the NSDMB with the GAW activities and all such. Oh wow, my screen wasn't shared this whole time. All right, my bad. Let me rectify that. All right, so you should be seeing my screen now. So
I can confirm that we are, yes.
Good. So for those who don't know, the National Spatial Data Management Branch was established as a secretariat for the LICJ, and the NSDMB oversees the development, implementation, and maintenance of and management of Jamaica's national spatial data infrastructure. But what generally mostly the governmental entities know, mostly the larger entities, they will be more familiar with the following. But for those, I may actually tell you something. The NSDMB is actually the government of Jamaica's lead for providing professional geospatial products and services to the public sector entities. And within the NSDMB, we actually have a wealth of GIS expertise ranging from spatial analysis to GIS infrastructure and customization, GIS applications, and development of policy and analysis. So it's just more, we do way more than just fill out data requests and send them back. We actually provide a wealth of services and projects. Now, on that same topic of services and projects, we actually offer a multitude of services across all sectors of the geospatial industry. My slides aren't changing. However, these services range from an extensive education and training program for all levels of GIS users. Training programs are customized to meet the specific needs of our organization and that is requesting training. So we actually have world-class professionals here who are actually willing and ready to help any organization, no matter what your GIS level is, whether you have been using GIS for years or whether you want to actually start getting it. We offer customized trainings to actually get you to where you need to be. So under training and education, headed by the wonderful Miss Simone Lloyd, we have developed a Geographic Information Systems in School education program, also known as GISSEP, that educates youth of schools in the importance of use of GIS, which is also the group that generally puts on GAW activities, technical seminars. This is all about education. But lastly, but not least, we offer great projects and technical services, and that's what we're actually going to be focusing on in the presentation today. Now, the NSDMB is staffed with a projects and technical services unit, which I am very proudly a part of. And we offer, and we are responsible for undertaking projects and technical requests that would be received. So as you can see, we do everything from project proposals to geodatabase management, development of dashboards. We deploy geoportals and enterprises, and we even do the development of GIS web apps and platforms. So we function as the national repository for geospatial data for the government of Jamaica. So if you need information regarding any of the geospatial data sets across the government, we would generally be the place to go, and that's generally where a lot of people's understanding of us stops. But we actually do big tasks and projects such as 3D analysis and remote sensing. So if, say for instance, you're coming from a parish council and you need to do your land use land cover, we will help you actually do that. You need to do your LSDP, we can do that. We can help you with that as well. And even if you're just a regular entity that just needs some field data collection or asset mapping, we do that as well. So this is really to inform you as to what we really do outside of the regular GAW activities. Now, what I really want to show you right now is actually one of the products that we had developed for JAMPRO. JAMPRO had commissioned the NSDMB to build an investment map. Now, this was done in 2016, and this was developed using ArcGIS to highlight the investment locations and to assist in site selection, including infrastructure and socioeconomic data. Now, the investment map allowed for navigation of Jamaica's landscape accurately and to discover geophysical features and places of interest, such as waterways or sources, land development, suitability, services, and amenities, which various investors use to guide them to their investments in the country. Now, what you actually see now is actually the web map for the investment map. We're actually going to put a link in the chat so that you can actually go on JAMPRO's website and actually explore the web map, that you can actually see what people would be looking at when they come to invest or look into Jamaica. So I can show you some of the functionalities of it now. So what you'll see various different points around the country. Now, if you were to click on any one of these points, it would actually tell you what the project is, where it falls in the public sector. It will tell you the name. So this one is Bath Fountain, Bath, Hot Spring, and you see who is the contact for it. So if you're really interested in looking, we even have navigation enabled, so you can navigate from where you are to any one of these sites that you would actually see here. So you can actually go around and look at what people would be interested in investing in. So we actually do similar tasks like this for asset mapping. We do it for database management, and we do them for many different regions across many different things. So it's not just investment. We do it for public health, we do for disaster management, for business analysis, and even if you want marketing, we can throw some of that in there as well. Now, we generally use the ArcGIS platform because the government of Jamaica has signed an ELA with Esri. So we have full access to the Esri suite of softwares that we use to essentially make geospatial information and data more accessible across all government entities. So gone are the days where one person is doing something in isolation and you need it. We actually have it integrated to a level where we can share information quickly and easily with each other that I can actually demonstrate later. Now, one of the things that we actually do is that in our latest push into advancing the geospatial sector, we have stepped into the realm of 3D modeling for building footprint modeling. So what you're seeing on the screen now shows a mock-up of the complex where the NSDMB is, so our Hope Road complex and the NSCA lab. So this model was created from a 3D building footprint that uses the height and dimensions extruded from the attribute table. Now, the height and dimensions were extruded from the Z field in the attribute table, and by manually editing the building vertices, we could actually get to use this thing called multi-patch feature layers. So that's why you see the NSDM building and the LICJ Geoinformatics Lab labeled, and they actually look like the building. So we can actually do full mock-ups of buildings. So we actually got the image by using drone imagery flyovers. So we could have shots of the building for different angles. We can actually get the same effect even in a more detailed manner by using LiDAR point clouds, but we are still looking into advancing it. So that's actually going to be the next step for us. So moving along, we also look significantly in 3D modeling of the Jamaica DEM, the Jamaica 3D, the Jamaica or the digital elevation model. So this is actually a 3D model generated by one of our talented technicians using the 30-meter DEM of Jamaica. Now, models such as this can be used to calculate volume and have a better understanding, so that you can have a better understanding of the Jamaican landscape by accurately representing the topography of the island in an easier to comprehend this than a static map. So what's really supposed to be happening right now is that this is actually supposed to be showing you like a 3D flyover, but I guess it's kind of stuck. So we'll just move along. Now, what we're going to move along to next is kind of one of the more interesting features of the ArcGIS platform that we've been using and that we're trying to get other entities across the government of Jamaica to actually use. You may have seen them before, most notably from Johns Hopkins, but we have developed dashboards, and we're going very big into dashboards. So one of the things that we do well here is the creation of dashboards through various initiatives. The NSMDB has created ArcGIS dashboards to be used for a multitude of reasons, from public health to natural disaster management. Now, what you see in display is a demonstration of the latest product of the NSDMB in collaboration with the Ministry of Health. So this dashboard is actually currently publicly available, and there will be a link for it placed within the chat so that you can actually go through and explore it on your own time to use it to inform yourself, right? Now, this is a COVID-19 monitoring dashboard for Jamaica, and the dashboard showcases the spread of the novel coronavirus and its impact on various communities across the island that would allow for all Jamaicans to make better decisions in these unprecedented times. Now, it doesn't seem like my videos are playing because this is supposed to be a demo. This is supposed to essentially be a demo. So what is happening is in this dashboard is that you will be able to click on any one of the communities where you're curious about. So you can see that, for instance, it has the confirmed cases, it has the active cases, and it has the recovered cases. It even has the deaths, so you can separate between the deaths that are under investigation or the deaths that are or the total number of deaths. The most important feature of this is actually its interactivity. So say, for instance, you were to click on Parade Gardens, it would actually carry you to the community of Parade Gardens and show you how much, essentially, how spread out it is, or how many cases are in the community and showing you the boundaries of the community as well. So if you're wondering what your community looks like, it will show you that. So it will show you the confirmed cases separate from the active cases. So you have different layers that you can go through and that you would access by clicking this button here. I'm really sorry that the demonstration isn't playing, but we can send this video out to you later so that you can actually see or even explore yourself, where you can, look at the analytics. At the bottom of the screen, you will have the different graphics. So, the graphs and measures and metrics. So you have the cases by dates, you have the gender breakdown, cases by gender, cases by regional health authority, the age breakdown, and the confirmed cases by parish. Now that's a very interactive one as well, where when you click on it, you actually see how many cases are in the parish. You'll see what communities the cases are in, and that will essentially help not necessarily relax, but this would be a good way to start, where you can actually plan out and be more responsible in your decision making, so you don't have to necessarily panic, oh my gosh, COVID is next, but it just helps you to make better decisions based on what you do. Now, the next thing that we're working on is actually the development of web apps and tools. So this one that I'm showing you right here is one that we actually developed, another one that we developed in-house here to help with the flooding and detection of flooded roads and location of flooded roads, so that everybody can have, another decision-making tool that can help you know what route you need to take. So why take Spanish Town Road if you know that it's flooded, so you can plan your routes better. So we have from time to time we develop these tools, and they can be useful not just to land housing and public health, as mentioned before, but we also try to assist as much as possible in emergency management and response. So the Disaster Road Debris Reporter, or the DRDR, was a tool that was developed to aid the parish councils and their disaster coordinators to quickly report road blockages to the responsible agencies, while providing valuable scientific information on the location of landslides and floodings that can then later be used for more effective modeling and for planning purposes. So this is a tool that essentially you will go out, and hopefully in the future we can even make it crowdsourced, where you can go out and you can just say, okay, there is a roadblock here, the road is flooded by debris, it's flooded by, or it's blocked by electrical pole, there was some land slippage or landslide, or it's blocked by vegetation because of a hurricane. So this
My
then would
apologies,
actually...
Mr. King. You have 5 minutes to go.
Okay,
Go ahead.
all right. Thank you. I'm almost done. So what's next is actually a demonstration where, but it doesn't seem like any of the videos are working, but essentially you go through and then you can pretty much show which ones or what is actually happening. And what is really cool about this is that then it feeds into the National Natural Disaster Overview dashboard. So this is a dashboard that then showcases all of the shelters across Jamaica. So in this dashboard, similarly to the coronavirus dashboard, this one shows the amount of shelters that are currently in the country, the amount of shelters that are occupied, and it shows the shelter occupancy, right? It also entails various models and metrics for flooding. So I don't know if you can actually see it, because none of these videos are playing. If you can see right here, you actually have the same symbols from the DRDR that would show where everything is happening. Also, there is flood modeling from the WRA flood portal that we got permission to use. We got the entire flood portal, and it didn't take long. It was just really seamless integration. So from this, decision makers can actually look at this tool and actually be like, okay, let's open this shelter instead of this one because of how it looks on the ground. We have flooding in these areas, and we have flood modeling that can actually say, okay, these are the shelters that we need to open. And the citizen, the regular Jamaica citizen, could just look at it and say, okay, these are the shelters that are open, this is where I need to go, and it would then give the routing for you to get to this shelter. So it's a really important decision-making tool, and it's actually being built out. So currently right now it's in pretty much open beta, where we're doing testing and we're doing adding. One of the features that we're actually going to add to this is live landslide tracking. So, when it's open to the citizen, right, instead of seeing a report in the Gleaner and you have to kind of figure out where that is, you'll actually see the specific location, accurate. This is something that you can capture from your phone, and so accurate to up to 30 meters or less. So you have that specific location where it is happening, and you can then use that for, say for instance, Mines and Geology Division can then take these different points and actually create landslide models. Right, so say for instance, NWA goes out to collect some landslide data. They can just populate it and update it so that different divisions don't necessarily have to be, wasting a lot of money or gas or effort to go. Now, alongside this, there's even a more detailed collection tool for the GIS professionals or the people in the field who would then use ArcGIS Collector to even do initial damage assessment. So that initial damage assessment form that ODPIM would have been using was actually fully digitized and integrated into this. So there are none actually showing right now because we haven't really been out doing that much, but it is available. So you just do it and it updates on the dashboard just the same, and you actually get to see the metrics played out. So you see the damage level, the damage type, and the residence type as well. So I know that my time is waning, but feel free to ask your questions. We can have the presentation sent to you, and I really appreciate you taking the time out to actually listen. So thank you very much. and have a good day or fantastic day.
Right, love it. Thank you very much, Mr. King. We will now open the discussion to our audience to see if anyone has any questions for you in the time we have remaining. Well, we have our full 5 minutes for questions, just in case there are any.
Okay.
Let's give that a few minutes before we close off this section. All right, so
Sorry, Mr. King, there
Yes.
is a question about the renewal of the ELA. And there's a question from Mishek. He's asking you to please share the link with the dashboard with the flooded roads. So I think after your presentation, you could just share the link in the Q&A section. People have access to that. I will respond to the ELA matter. We're currently negotiating the ELA. There is a committee of the LICJ that is doing that. They are in an advanced stage, so the agencies will hear shortly about what it is that the packages that are available to different entities based on their tier. So there's a tiered approach. If you have a number of users that use a particular suite of software, then the pricing will be set up accordingly. So that information will be coming out shortly to all of the entities of government that want to participate in this new ELA that is coming up. So that's the latest update. If you want more information on that, you can always contact our offices, and we're glad to provide any information that you may need regarding the ELA and how to be a part of it, and the advances that we've made in the renegotiation of it.
Sure. And also,
Tarek, you can go ahead and respond.
Okay. So also, please remember, if you need to contact us, you can always reach us at our phone number 630-185029. So just putting that out there. We'll post it in the chat as well. So the thing about the dashboard with the flooded roads and air, that is currently in beta. It's currently only available for GOJ entities to really test and flesh out to see what it wants and essentially put their feedbacks and comments so that we can actually improve it to make it better. So if you are a GOJ member, we can actually send you the link. We can actually send you the link so that you can go out and you can test it and you can give us your feedback. But this is something that we want for something available for internal GOJ uses and something publicly crowdsourced as well.
okay, good, thank you. We also have a question from YouTube, and that says, are the disaster management personnel using this tool as a preventative measure?
Currently, no. The disaster management personnel are not necessarily using this. It has been pitched to them. And we're still in the stage of actually hearing feedback from them. So if any of the disaster management personnel are actually listening to this presentation right now and actually want to get in on this, please feel free to contact us, and we'll let you, and we'll give you the full package.
Okay, great. We also have a question on 3D modeling that says, was the 3D modeling of your offices done using City Engine or ArcGIS Pro?
It was actually done. That's a good question. That was actually done using ArcGIS Pro. So what we did was use a tool called pretty much an extrusion tool. But we didn't just only use the extrusion tool. The extrusion tool brings you up to the flat modelings. But if you actually wanted to get the models where you could actually see what the building actually looks like and actually create a detailed model of the building, what we then used was something called multi-patch, was creating a multi-patch feature. Now, multi-patch features are essentially regular polygons that can then be extruded whichever way. So you can actually play with them and shape them like building blocks. Or like Play-Doh, you can actually play with them like that. However, it then creates different surfaces, and each surface would then need a specific image that matches that surface. You can use it with drone imagery, but then that's a bit difficult in the sense that you would then have to put an image on every single surface, which can be tedious. So, you're going to have to cut a little piece and put it there to fit. A lot of cutting and pasting. However, it is significantly easier if you use LiDAR imagery where you get a whole point cloud and you actually can shape the building significantly better, and it actually gives you the colors as well. So more advanced people or more advanced technology would be to use LiDAR data, which we're actually getting into, or we're actually trying to invest in to actually get that done.
Great, thank you. We are unfortunately out of time for our question and answer segment. We do have a few others in the chat. So if you had posted a question, we'll make note of them for follow-up with you. All right. So,
Sure.
Mr. King, again, thank you very much for your presentation. It was quite interesting, and we got the message, even though your videos weren't cooperating with you. But it's good to hear about the community engagement and the emergency management, as well as decision making that you are playing your part in helping us do quite successfully. So, thank you very much again.
You're very welcome. Have a fantastic day, guys.
Great. Right. So our next presenter will be Mr. Germain Ramiki. Mr. Ramiki is the GIS manager at the National Works Agency, that's since 2018. He previously worked as the GISSEP, that's a GIS in Schools manager, as well as the assistant trainer at the National Spatial Data Management branch. He's a graduate of the University of the West Indies. He holds a Bachelor of Science degree, double major in geology as well as geography, and he has a Master's of Science in Integrated Rural and Urban Environmental Management. He also holds a certificate in Principles and Practices of Project Management from the Mona School of Business, and currently he's pursuing a certificate in Supervisory Management with the Management Institute for National Development. He has over 10 years of experience gained as a professional, which he intends to utilize to provide the highest level of service to the government of Jamaica, thus enhancing its growth and development, which is always great. So I welcome Mr. Germain Ramiki, and he will be presenting to you damage assessment at the National Works Agency. Mr. Ramiki?
All right. So everybody see me?
Okay, we hear and we see you,
You
yes.
see me? Okay, good.
And we are seeing your presentation now as well.
Presentation as well. Okay.
So your 20 minutes starts now, sir.
Okay, all right. So hello, good afternoon. It's a pleasure and an honor to present at this seminar or this symposium, especially as a past member of the National Spatial Data Management branch, formerly called, the division during my time. So, it's a privilege. All right. So today, I'll be presenting on increasing the GIS capabilities of the National Works Agency Emergency Operations Center. Now, it's a little deviation from, I think, the topic that was originally sent in. I think it was damage assessment at the end of the day, but in discussing it with my team, we decided to tweak it a little bit to more focus on the current capabilities and how we want to increase it within our own EOC. Now, I'm joined by a GIS officer, Keval. I don't know if you can see him. Okay, so Keval Wilson is here, one of our GIS technicians. And Janai Sinclair was also integral in the development of this presentation. All right. So my main aim is to present on the capabilities, and then Keval will go into further details on the actual application, how it was developed, and everything. Right. So general outline of the presentation. We'll be looking at the role of NWA in supporting the national EOC. Within this, we'll be giving a general overview of the NWA, what's our role, and also, how does this play a part in the EOC. We'll be looking at the traditional damage report, that we use. Also, we're looking at the database system that is developed from the report. We'll then delve into the updated damage assessment application that was created. As I said, Kevval will go into the methodology in terms of how it was developed, why it was developed, and he'll actually give a live demonstration of the application. And then I'll speak a bit to the future developments and then give a general summary of the presentation. Okay, all right, let me, so I'm still in office and it's a bit all right, so the National Works Agency. Now, persons always, you see us on the news, and we've been on the news a lot as of lately due to all of these rains that we've been getting. Most persons think that the NWA is responsible for every road, which is why I wanted to give this overview. We are tasked with, of course, maintaining Jamaica's main road network, but the main road network would only be 5,000. The NWA's main road network is only 5,000 kilometers of Class A, B, and C roads. So this actually only forms 19% of the total road surface across Jamaica. So of all of the roads, it's really only 19% of the actual road network the NWA is responsible for. So you may ask, then if it's only 19%, why are we on the news almost every other day? The reason for this is that the actual 19% is really 90% of all the trafficked roads. So even though it's a small road network, we're responsible for A, B, and C. So most of the, the main transport routes, most of the traffic would use this 19%. So naturally, when you have some kind of breakage, some kind of flooding to the main roads, then it's going to make the news, as it will affect majority of the population, right? So apart from the 19%, the other parts of the roads would form, farm roads, parochial roads, private roads, right? But I just want to declare that it's really only 19%, but our 19% is a very important 19%. The NWA is also responsible for 736 bridges on this main road network. So maintain all the bridges. You may have seen where some of the bridges were blocked. So our responsibility is, of course, to block those bridges. I mean, it's to clear those bridges in the event of any disaster, right? So the main road network really forms the main artery of Jamaica, and the agency is directly responsible for clearing all of these roads in the event of a disaster or a storm, right? And also, as I mentioned before, rehabilitation of the bridges. Right, so I just did a quick search. I typed NWA damage and I saw these pictures come up. So these pictures here would be from the last event that we had, which was ETA. So you can see, I think the picture to the left is Garden Town being blocked. The one in the middle, I think that is apart and 9 miles. Bull Bay, that was the river overflowed its banks, and flooding was tremendous. And I think the one to the right, I think that is also up Garden Town side. So just to show some of the damages that we've been having over the past couple of weeks. Now, in responding to these pictures right here, that is how the NWA EOC becomes very, very important. Now, the EOC operates as pretty much a system to receive complaints by customers and also respond to the complaints. Now, our customers would be anybody using the road network. So it doesn't have to be people driving, it could be people walking, so generally Jamaica, everybody, are our customers. So the objective of the EOC is to log and map pretty much all complaints that we receive, and also to alert the different managers, whether it be a regional manager, a parish manager, of the general complaints or of whichever road is blocked within their zones. Because all of the Jamaica is pretty much divided into different zones, and the parish managers or the regional managers are responsible for their respective zones. We began operating as far back as 2004. I know that they operated before that, but 2004, I guess, was when it kind of became official, and we had our EOC. and it becomes operational in the event of an approaching storm, which we know will have significant impacts on our main road network, on our bridges, on our flood control systems. Yeah, so how the EOC operates, as I said, whenever we know that there's a storm coming, we'll generally get a call from communications or from the persons responsible for starting up that EOC, and everybody pretty much goes up to the conference room, to the CEO conference room. You can see it in the pictures below, and all equipment is set up, telephones are up, and this is really the hub of operations, similar to what is at ADPEM and at the National Emergency Operations Center. In terms of the standard operating procedures at the EOC, the first thing that usually happens is, we generally send out phone numbers to the general public. So we usually circulate it through our Instagram, through our Twitter feed, through newspaper, whatever medium it is, just to get that number out there so persons can call us directly to report any block roads or anything like that. So generally that number is circulated. Customers will call directly into the NWA EOC. So those calls come directly to us. When the call comes into us, communication personnel or volunteers, sometimes because of the magnitude of the event, we may have volunteers come in just to help us with answering all of these calls. So they would then respond to the phone calls. In responding to the phone call, there's a damage report form that is filled out. I'll show you a picture of this damage report form, what it looks like. So the damage report form is filled out with whichever information that we receive from the call, the name of the caller, where the damage is, what type of damage, is it a flood, is it debris, is it a tree that fell in the road? All that information is recorded, as well as the location. The form then is distributed to our GIS personnel. So there's generally at least one officer assigned to the EOC. So that information is fed to that GIS officer, who would then utilize this information to develop some form of map or whatever GIS related output that they may request. Now, the same information is also sent back to communications, and it is logged in a database system that they have developed, a damage report database, and I'll show you a picture of that as well. So there's actually a database that was created by IT where all the information is also logged. Now, the next step and the final step is, of course, getting this information out to our teams out in the field so they can respond and clear the roads, right? So then communications, having received all this information, having logged all this information, having stored all this information, they would then communicate now with our parish managers, as to the road blockage, as to probably the best route to get to the road blockage, as to which one is priority, which one they should probably go to first. So we can at least have everything cleared to single lane. Now, you would have seen this in operation, probably you only seen the end product, but this is what goes on behind the scenes. And during the last event, we're proud to say that within 72 hours, we're able to restore access to the majority of communities, if it was even just single lane. So that's a big achievement for such a huge storm that had such great effects. Also with limited resources, in the fact that we're able to restore access within 72 hours. So this is what the traditional farm looks like. So as you can see, we're split in different regions, and you have regional coordinators or regional managers. You have to put the classification of the road, the type of damage, the priority, the initial action, whether or not any clearance happening or whatever, the status, whether the road is completely blocked, flooded, partially blocked, single lane, also who reported it, and which parish manager would have acted on it. So this is what the traditional form, and we still use the form. This is the first really point of information to us. This is the application that I spoke about prior to this. There's a disaster management application that was created by our IT team. So communication uses this application a lot. So you can go in, you can just click on whichever disaster, it will tell you, okay, the history, the current, how many lanes are cleared, just general information. And you can run the various queries because it's an access database. So you can run various queries and gather information from this report. Also, we actually had an application, a GIS application that was built prior to, I would say, the update that our GIS team did. So there's this application called Emergency Operations Center EMAP. Now this application was built prior to my time. I think Ms. Mahabir may be familiar with this application. It was built by one of the GIS officers, but he was a GIS officer / programmer. So it was built using heavy coding, heavy programming. The problem with that was the transition or the continuity of the application, because it was built using Silverlight, which I think Microsoft no longer supports. So it was from that we decided, okay, you know, we need to upgrade this. We need to integrate it with our current ELA that we have, and we need to utilize, you know, some of the newer products that Ezra has to offer. And Keval will speak more to that and how it was done. Right. So I'll turn over to Mr. Wilson, Keval Wilson. He's our GIS technician, and he was integral. Is that officer? GIS officer. I'm sorry. Because he was integral in the development of this application, and also not just developing it, but also carrying it a bit further in terms of developing actual dashboard from the application. So I'll turn over to him.
I guess I'll let you know at this point you have 6 minutes to go.
Oh. All right, good afternoon,
No
everyone.
pressure. No pressure.
Too late for that. All right, good afternoon, everyone. So as Germain said, it all started from the paper form, and one of the first order of business was to review the form and to consider all the components. From there, we did the standard creation of a geodatabase and the feature classes, and also the domains, because wherever there is a tick section on the form, we wanted that to now be a drop-down option where you can input the data. An additional step after that was that we created symbologies, custom symbologies. Some might say it was it could be seen as an unnecessary step, but it was necessary in this case because once you look at the map, you want to automatically know what is going on in a particular area. And when it comes to disasters, information is always needed fast. And just looking at dots of different colors does not tell you exactly what is happening at a particular area compared to if there was an imagery of a tree on its side or a puddle of water. So that was an additional step that we undertook. The next step was just to publish the web layer, and once it was on ArcGIS Online, it was pretty much plug and play, making things fancy but functional. So the just a minute.
Right. So share. I'm sharing. Which one is it now? Is it this? Is this one? No, the next one. Let me go to the. Come in.
Is this one?
Yeah, we have to actually do it from here. So I forgot this one. This. Oh, okay. All right. Everybody seeing the scene?
Are you all seeing?
We're seeing a web application.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So this is the web application that was created once we got to ArcGIS to the web create a web app section. This theme that we used was the jewel box, and we pretty much just needed to configure the widgets because everything was done from the map stage in ArcGIS Pro. So this is a splash screen. So this is just a quick look. It isn't complete in terms of the data being inputted, but this is just a quick look at exactly what the application looks like. As I said, it was about making it fancy and functional all at the same time. And these are the custom icons that were made, or symbologies, where once you look at it, you know exactly what is happening. So you see a tree on its side, there's a puddle of water there, a light pole tumbled over. Those are all possible obstructions that we could be on our roadways. All right, so we were going to do a demo, but seeing our time is going, I will just take you to the dashboard.
Let's bring it down. Yeah, and you can maximize it again.
Okay. So this is the dashboard that was created using
We're seeing you versus your screen now.
Oh.
What you see? Click on.
Okay. Nope. It just
See the
went
dashboard?
away. We're still seeing Mr. Wilson.
See the dashboard now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
So using the same information, we decided to go a step further and create a dashboard. Now, the dashboard serves the purpose of persons, probably those in senior management, who probably don't have a direct need to view the application itself or want additional information or quick information. They'll be able to view the dashboard, and they'll also be able to see some statistical information, as in the graph at the bottom there shows how many EOC reports were collected on what day. Here, NWA conducts its functions via regions. The parishes are split up via region, so we can know what is happening in each region. We can know that, for example, here in the Northeast region, we have one cleared and one completely blocked roadway. And we also have the damage priorities by parish. As you can see, it's high, low, and medium priorities. The data feed is reactive with the map, which is a functionality that I like. So once you zoom to an area, you can tell exactly what is happening in the area, if anything is happening in the area. As you can see with the data feed, it reacts with the map. And also one of the features that we utilized in it was the fact that we can embed a website, and we chose the NOAA website. Initially, I wanted to probably add the Met Office Twitter page or something, however, it does not accept social media, it seems. So this was the next best option. I will hand over to Mr. Ramiki to continue the presentation.
Good job, good job, good job.
Mr. Ramiki, I'll kindly ask you to wrap up as well. Thank you.
Okay. All right. All right, can you see my screen? Can you see the presentation?
Yes, we're seeing that again.
All right, so we just kind of did the live demo, a quick demo just to show you. In terms of forward thinking, what we're planning to do is we want to integrate the DMA application a little bit more in terms of using it with our parish managers or our team. So pretty much we want to, have them have art collect on their phones. They can go out there, they can map damages, send pictures. It will come right to us, so we can utilize workflow to better help assign tasks to parish managers. We also purchased a drone recently, so we've been using it a lot in terms of damage assessments. This is from 9 miles after, I think it was, I'm not sure this time, I think it was ETA. So we're trying to integrate more with drone to map with drone technology in terms of doing general damage assessments, because a lot of these places are hard to reach, right? In summary, the integration of GIS in the NWA is vital to its development and fulfillment of its general mission, which is to plan, build, and maintain a reliable, safe, and efficient main road control system. Over the years, we have seen the increased use of GIS in the department, and we are continuously researching ways in which we can, kind of streamline the technology with the different processes and with our workflows. All right, so thank you for your time, and that's my presentation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ramiki and Mr. Wilson. We will now take questions from the audience, and we have two here for you. So the first one is related to the roadways that is covered by NWA. It says, what NWA Act that speaks to the NWA's responsibility for only 19% of the class roads mentioned in the slides? What act covers that?
I mean, it would be under the Main Roads Act, I would think. But we have there's the roads that we govern would have to be gazetted. So there's a list of gazetted roads, and the gazette clearly states which roads would belong to the NWA and which roads would belong to the municipal authority. So we judge it based on that. Sometimes we do have some trouble with identifying some of the roads, but that's why we have our legal department. So we tend to liaise between legal and with the municipal authority if it is that there's a road that we're not exactly sure about. But there's the Main Roads Act, and then there's the gazettes that we tend to look to.
Okay, good, thank you. The second question I have here is actually asking for an email address. So you could probably respond to that in the chat section, the Q&A section.
Okay, I will add my email address to the chat section.
Thank you. All right, so we have good stuff, NWA. Are there any plans to expand the app so that the public can use it for information or for informing the agency of road blockages, etc., instead of having to call in?
I mean, it's something that we're thinking about. In listening to Tariq's presentation, I heard how he mentioned crowdsourcing and utilizing that as a way to gain information from the general public in terms of road blockages. So we're definitely looking to that. As I say, we're a forward-thinking agency. I really want to see what is the best way we can utilize GIS to better manage our main road networks and also recovery of our networks in the event of damage. So we're definitely looking to crowdsourcing and maybe having a public-facing platform that our general customers can interact with. Because at the end of the day, everything is really done for our customers.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. We're going to wrap this segment now. So thank you again, gentlemen. You had mentioned my